Hi, it's Dan from dansbesttech.com. A few months ago, I wanted to try and get one of the best signals from my N64. Rather than purchasing the Ultra HDMI, I purchased the Tim Worthington N64 with Bordy 4938's D-Blur mod kit. After many hours of install, I finally got it working. The Tim Worthington N64RGB produces a clean RGB analog signal from the N64. This is the best option for users who want RGB rather than HDMI to use on a CRT television. That is when I heard of the RetroTINK 2X. The RetroTINK 2X is a zero-lag converter that converts composite, S-video, and YPB-PR signals to HDMI. It can be used with almost any retro console. Reviewers have said many great things about the RetroTINK 2X when using the N64's native S-video and composite output, but now let's check out the N64 when using the much cleaner HD RGB signal from the N64. In this video, I am showing you the RetroTINK 2X's smoothed versus unsmoothed settings when using RGB output from the N64. I tested Zelda Ocarina of Time, Zelda Majora's Mask, Star Fox, 007 GoldenEye, and Super Smash Bros. In Zelda Majora's Mask, the textures on the ground are smoothed, aliased edges on the mailboxes and stairs are smoothed, Link himself is smoothed, and 2D objects like the on-screen display and menu screen are smoothed as well. In Zelda Ocarina of Time, you can see how the low-resolution railing jaggies are smoothed when the filter is applied. In Super Smash Bros., the edge of the top surface of the building is smoothed, both Link and Kirby are smoothed, and even the small items like Link's sword look much better to me. By the way, I recommend you view this footage on a TV or monitor. I don't think you'll see much of a difference on a phone or tablet. In Star Fox, you can see a big difference even in the main menu. Focus on Fox's ears. During gameplay, you can see the best improvements in the Air Wings' wings. Finally, in 007 GoldenEye, you can see the difference in the gun you're holding as well as the objects on the ground in front of you. The bridge looks way improved in my opinion. Now let's talk about the setup. The N64 RGB mod gives a clean RGB analog signal from the N64. The install is difficult, but install services are available. The firmware from Bordy 4938 introduces a D-Blur functionality. I highly recommend this firmware as it removes the horizontal blur from the original N64 signal. The next item in the line is the ShinyBo SCART to HD TV converter. This converts the RGB signal into YPB-PR component signals. It is a fully analog converter which is said to have zero latency. Now we can use our N64RGB on American TVs. The last line item in the chain is the RetroTINK 2X, which converts the YPB-PR component signal to HDMI. The good news is that it is a plug-and-play converter and can be used with almost any retro console. As I said before, reviewers have said many great things about the RetroTINK 2X when using the N64's native S-video and composite output, but I really cared about using it to convert the HD RGB N64 signal to HDMI and then filtering it. The settings I used with the N64 is the line doubling mode that outputs 480p over HDMI to the TV. Regrettably, there are some key shortcomings to the RetroTINK 2X though. There is some distortion during loud low-frequency sounds, and the filter between the different inputs of the RetroTINK 2X is lacking. For example, my NES plugged into the composite input of the RetroTINK 2X would cause static in the N64 signal plugged into the component input, even when the NES was turned off. So is this setup worth it? If you want the best picture in my opinion when playing N64 games on original hardware and on an HD TV, then I think so. The picture is sharp at 480p, the lag is non-existent, and to me, the filter feature creates one of the cleanest signals generated from the original N64 hardware. Just remember, there exists a sound glitch, there is a problem with multiple inputs, and the picture will never be as good as it would have been on an emulator. Let me know in the comments down below. Would you purchase the RetroTINK 2X to get HDMI from the N64? What do you think about the filtered versus non-filtered N64 games? And finally, is this setup even worth it to you, being so complex? Click like if you like this video, please subscribe if you want to see more, and check out dansbesttech.com for a full written review.